Getting Tillie to canter. This is actually take 2 because take 1 did not work with the pivo. So I've tried to reenact our second go at getting Tillie to canter. So Tillie has already been warmed up extensively during transitions, ensuring she's not on the forehand and is bending around the corners rather than falling on her inside shoulder. So she's now riding balanced turns and is listening to my aids and is no longer on the forehand. So what I'm demonstrating is just a little bit of my prep work that I've already done to prepare her for the canter transition. So what I'm doing is riding walk to trot and trot to walk transitions to get her listening to my aids and to get her prepared for when I ask her for canter. I did hop off her for a couple of minutes, so she wasn't quite as attentive when I got back on. But as you can see, she's improving as our ride goes on. So now that she's listening to me and is on the aids, I've just started to go a little forward and back in the trot, just little transitions, because that's my next step in getting Tillie to canter. I'm leaving this video unedited, which is why I sometimes get a little bit too close to the pivo, but it's positioned where it'll actually stay on Tillie. And as you can see, our first canter transition is a little wild, shall we say. But she gave me an action to my aid. She didn't just keep trotting faster and keep trotting faster. She did kick over into canter. This actually happened a lot quicker than our first go round. I've started on the left side because from our first go at this, I worked out Tillie prefers to canter on the left canter lead than the right canter lead. So rather than waste my time trying to get on the right canter lead to begin with and get her to canter, I just started going left. So as soon as she's picked, I keep her going in canter for a little bit. When she wants to come back at this stage, I let her and I reward her for that. But I also want to make sure she's still listening to me, which is why I'm riding a couple of transitions. Otherwise, she's just going to start rushing around the arena. And you can see that transition was much more concise and balanced. The canter's looking a little less wild, and I'm able to keep her in canter for longer, which is the ultimate goal. I don't expect to be cantering laps of the arena on the giant Clydesdale in just 1 or 2 sessions. That's going to take some time. Now, I want to give Tillie a free walk as a reward, and so you can see she's still wanting to have a little trot off and is not quite listening to me. So we just now need to take it back a step, unwind, chill out, and just go for a little cruise around the arena and just let her walk out and have a break. A free walk is a break. It's a reward for listening to me. And so we're just going to cruise around until I feel like she's ready to pick up the reins on this side. Whoop, I think she just stood on her own foot with her other foot. These things happen with a giant Clydesdale with rather large feet. And then she put herself into trot, which is why I made her come back and wait for me. And wait for me to give her an aid to go to trot rather than her just standing on her own feet and then going, oh, I've got to do something. So as you can see, I'll ride a couple of transitions from walk to trot and trot to walk on this side. She's a little bit more difficult to get into canter on this side. And as you can see, the canter is much less balanced. All this is perfectly normal. All horses are more balanced in one direction than the other. It's our job to train them to become evenly balanced on both sides. Just like if you're right-handed, you're right side dominant, or if you're left-handed, you're left side dominant. Oh, now that's just completely wild. And we've missed that completely. There was no chance of me getting her into canter if she was just getting longer and on the forehand, so better should make a transition back, regroup, rebalance, and try again. And there she's going to pick up the incorrect canter lead. So it's a regroup and rebalance. Stay with me, Pivo. And we've got a little bit of canter, so that's progress. But again, wild. Not really what we want and what we want to be training. want to be getting her balanced and uphill like she is in the trot. So again, we'll just take it back a step and make another transition up. And we're off. That's better. Much better. Still a little 4-beat, but she's actually kicked over into a canter. Pivo has had a meltdown. Up here she comes back into focus. That's a nice uphill connected trot there. You can see I've gone back into rising trot just to get off her back now and give her a little bit more of a reward for stepping out and coming back to trot in balance. So this is just a short view of the main parts of our training session today. As I said, she was already warmed up. This was just a brief show of our warm-up, and then how we're asking for canter. How this would be approached with a younger horse that would be different. But this is Tillie that's trotted all of her life until now. So it's a little bit different than something that a young horse that you're bringing on. Although technically the concept's still the same. They need to be taught how to canter with a rider on their back. So Tillie will come back into focus in a minute, I'm sure. Thank you everybody for listening. If you enjoyed this, please tell your friends and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep uploading videos of my training with our horses.